Centralized communication cycle of line centers positions. The sun and the moon track line centers coming into one interference channel, which means that everybody's heart cycle is going to go spin through cycles. It's going to go through communication system. It's all about understanding what's happening with the heart, how important it is to understand everything that's going through the activation cycles. Life exists on signs and positions. No prohibited line condition or anything in the restricted position location. So the heart's humanity is going through a cycle spin. Okay, it's essentially very powerful. TikTok, it's very important to understand these positions. So it's all about breaking down more surfaces. When you guys go into higher light conditions, you come into more trauma. Now, this is all done through the 6-line system. If you're having problems, let me know. I can center your balanced position, put you in the angelics, put you in the conditions of the calming centers. It's very important to keep yourself in center, keep yourself in balance, countermeasure everything. Like I said, release everything through its activation cycle. To understand the importance is everything through the truth of the heart. That's going to connect and always informs the true understanding to bring yourself forward. Okay, high rise positions, program settings, and data, you're going to have a difficult time trying to balance everything through your dream set lines because your dreams are coming into formation during the calculation modifications right now. But the sun is in a full rotation cycle and the moon's in a full rotation of a program position, which is channeling to line conditions of one channel interference, okay, which is going to go into one alignment to one circle rotation. Okay, so the 8 central line systems is setting up right now like this. Okay, this is what's coming in right now. Okay, this is coming in very, very powerful. 8 central line systems to one universal line connection. So the universal line system, remember, sun's in a different rotation line conditions. Now we're coming into the 8 channel positions, right? The 8 central of its 8 position, right? 12 within the system, which means that your 12 traction when you come in the positions of time. But the most important thing is to keep center, keep the balance, keep the positive with everything that's going on. Okay. So get more into the belief, get into more of the mechanisms of control, get into the positions, how powerful you are through the mind system. Everybody's coming into the mind and it's confusing everybody's mechanisms of space and time travels, especially when the heart is going through cycles of spins. The center line connections everything to the support line system. The heart connects in all levels of space and time of travel. That's how powerful the heart is. Okay. Now the heart doesn't just travel alone, it travels through the mechanisms of force connections to your third eye position. Where is it going through its connection of the 369 platforms? You have to truly understand these positions of time location. Okay. Before I get started, thank you all subscribers and viewers and everybody. What's my channel? Keep Grand Rising, Force Rising. If you don't think I go through deviation cycles, if you don't think I go through viruses, well, what does that say about everybody else? We all go through this. It's all about the controlling system and what you believe. The more you high rise, the more you come into interference channels. You come into viruses. Now, if you don't understand your program, that's totally fine. I'll put you back in location, right? But everything that's given to you is all about the central line system of you going forward to your conditions and your freedoms. That's the only way you can get these connections to each other through its position, okay? Because there's a lot of people coming to me now, like, I'm feeling this and I'm feeling that. You know, I don't feel so good. Okay, that's fine. Just basically try to understand more of yourself. Put yourself in the positions. What do you believe? What is real and what is not real? Okay, your dream line center is in position now. It's high rise in your connections, is in your activation cycle, but the heart now, all right, is going extremely fast through high positions. Okay, and this is all done through the sun. So the sun and the connections of the moon. Remember when you put it together, it comes into the eclipse? Well, the central line system is in a TV reception, a coloration channel. Now, it's all coming in one reception. Like I said, we're coming into the volumes of the 8 central line system. Okay, so everybody has to be prepared to what's going to happen next. Okay, so it's the body adaptation cycles. Start from everything to the gravities, your powers, and everything, the atmospheres. That's all you guys have to understand is keep yourself grounded every single day. Keep the balance with everything that's going on, right? With your thoughts, space and time position, anything through its calculation centers. The most important thing is to keep yourself in center, okay? Because you're in that physical line system, but everybody's coming into the mind of thought now, okay? So it's all about losing the functions and mobility in all line connections, because I went through that too. when I was going through the high positions of the spiritual system. Spiritual systems coming in, higher to higher level system, and the physical system is going out. Now you still have the physical system, but you have to understand how to travel farther through the mind system and the heart and the soul. The mind, the heart, and the soul has to have separation first, right? And then it comes back into integration. That's the whole understanding how you communicate in these cycle line systems. Because I'm not here, okay, but I'm everywhere, okay, through the mind, the heart, and the soul. But the body stays in position. It's the receiver. It has to stay in its position, but it has to understand what's going on with the atmospheres of time positions. Okay, if you get so many line signals of confusion or anything through virus line system, you're not meditating strongly enough. Okay, it's the strength you have within the control of the force. You control your body. Don't let the body control you. You understand? Same with the thoughts. Okay, the thoughts don't control you. You control everything inside. Okay, and that's upsetting the cycle line systems to everybody to have positions. Okay, everybody's getting into the fear. I understand that. I sympathize with everybody, but you have to keep yourself balanced. That's the biggest thing. I know it's hard to do these things, but you got to keep positive, right? Because the truth of you and your heart is coming into its cycle. It's coming into its divisions, right? And everybody's coming into the flow of the new yin and yang, the Vista Pisces, right? Right. So we come into that position. So everybody's going to get into center line system, how to track its system. Okay, you got your hemispheres left and right. You have to get into the feminine and the masculinity of your dream lines. Okay, and it's neat. You're trying to understand when I'm connected to Pisces and all wave and cycles, that's what it is. It's the astrologics, it's the astrology system, it's the chart, it's the planets. It's all connected inside you. Okay. Now, a lot of people think it's mumbo jumbo, but it's not. It's all connected to you. See, when I woke up through transformation line connections, I was trying to understand what's going on with my hand. What are all these lines? What do they represent? I took interest, right? It's not just veins. It's everything through space. Look, it's a graph. It's a location. It's a map. It's a rotation cycle. It's a communication cycle line system. It's all connected to shape positions. See the shape? See the square? See the square? That's my activation, right? So trying to understand what your hand is, and each line is a representation to each planet line system, to each intelligent line systems, right? But to you, to the physical line system, you have to get out of the equations because it's not just lines of a hand, it's everything through the spiritual line system. So we have to focus more on what we have inside us. We can't have the thoughts control us. We have to control everything through its reality. That centers position, especially when you come into higher levels of programs. Okay. So everybody has to get out of the equations of the physical realm and stay in the central line system of the spiritual realm. Okay. Get into that position, trying to understand more what's going on with your dreams. Okay. Until you understand that, you're still going to be into the falsifications line systems, the narratives in that line system. Those are red flags. You don't want to do that in position. So like I said, I go through what you go through. Okay, but it's because I'm the operation, I understand what's going on with the sun and the moon. So it's knowing something and becoming something are two different things, two different operations. I control my thoughts. I control my body inside. It reflects and reacts to everything outside. Everything that you have in a cycle is your family. Okay. Now, it's very important to keep the door shut. Only bring in certain people through energy cycles. Okay. So if they come into your cycle, you got to make sure what's going on with that person, right? Because it's all about energy. It's all about communication. It's about their energy light systems, all about dimensional time. Where are they in their thoughts? Are they helping you or making it worse, right? Take them out of the equation. You don't want in that center line system. I have a cycle. You have a cycle. So you take who you want to take so you can protect your loved ones and your family and anybody in that relation line system. Like I said, you have a circle, you step back out and you look in. You look in. You don't jump back in, right? Because there might be something that's just changed. Now you're in a glitch. Now you're in the matrix, right? So you don't want to do that through connections. Okay, you want to get in that formula line system and put yourself in the practice system of balance, location, theory, meditation, graph line systems. Okay? So the heart is going extremely, extremely fast in cycles and cycles and cycles and cycles. So it's all about understanding how to go forward with the heart and what it wants. It needs to go forward through its portal. It needs its activation, right? Everything in your body is a feeding source of vibration. It's energy. It's the energetic path, the energetic line system, the communication cycle line centers to its position locations. So hold on a sec. All right. Just going to bring this down a bit. Okay. So ground's very important, right? Why do we ground ourselves? To protect ourselves, right, from our cycles. We have our positive negative system. People want to live on the negative cycle. Well, that's not going to bring you forward. So imagine this, you creating negative thoughts, but your heart's trying to go forward. What's confusing? What's happening, right? Your soul is reacting to everything, right? And it's more reaction to the physical system. Everything that you do through travel. So when I got up through transformation, I was going through miracle planets and it's getting hot. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? I was trying to figure out, why am I seeing meteors? Why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing that? It's affecting me, right? So it's all about understanding how to control your mechanisms of time, of space through acceleration, okay? And you come across these things, they're extremely real, right? Especially when you're driving, you know? I was going for a run yesterday and I was going through dimensional time and I was going through portals. So the thing is, when the physical is running, the physical system is not running through its time position. It's the soul that's running. So like I said, I'm in the mind, the heart, and the soul, but the body's still here. That's why it's so powerful, because every time I get up in the morning, I'm not in the central line of the physical system of mind, body, and soul. Okay, I'm now in the communications of all computers of space and time. And that's why there's balance there, right? But I go through this all the time. I go through so many levels of fighting. I go so many levels of activation. I go through so many levels of humanity system. I go through so many levels of correlation line systems. I go through so many levels of universe connections to UFO positions of defense line systems. There's so many things that I do, right? But like I said, knowing something and becoming something and doing something, and you are something through its operation, are so different. It's more power and more responsibility. Your power is inside you. You have to learn to control your thoughts every single day. Do not let your thoughts control you. You control everything through its manifestations, or you guys are going to have problems. And you're going to create your own viruses, especially when you go to higher positions. You guys are in a higher light now. I'd only put you to a certain level. Okay. So it's all about when you go up higher and higher, you release more from crying because the heart is opening up more and wants you to understand more of you through truth. And that's hard to face because you're going through so many levels of traumas. Right. So everything gets better. It doesn't get worse. It only gets better once you go higher and higher because you're more protected through the angelics and everything that connections. Okay. So like I said, the universe line system on your track line center of 5D is for you, not against you. Okay. So this is where you have to create your own anomaly of space and time division. You have to create your own activation of your thoughts. You control everything inside. Do not let anything control you outside. Do you understand that? It's very important you understand these things so you can balance everything out through your heart and the soul of its identifications and your mind of creation and its imagination. Okay. You want to imagine to have this. You want to imagine to have that. The most important is freedom of speech. I want to have freedom for myself. Okay. Basically, I want my kids to have a good schooling education. These are the things that you want to put yourself in. Now's the time to write the list. Put yourself in that position. Put yourself in the positive center. Put yourself in the balance location. Put yourself in the balance of activation to its connection, to its manifestation, to its coloration of lights, and everything through its illustration diagram program systems. You really, really, really have to focus on these things. If you want to higher levels and you have a hard time, I will help you and guide you and put you back in balance. Okay. But it's truly understanding every time you're going through data processing, uplinks and downloads and upgrading, this is all done through you. It's just you're not aware of these things because you've been living the negative cycles of programs your whole life through thoughts, and it's still inside you. You have to let it out. If it's still inside you, it's going to electrolyte your systems. It's going to overprogram your positions and put you in the high positions of your virus line system. Okay? If you're having problems, come to me. You can DM me on TikTok or whatever you want to do. I want to make sure you guys understand how important it is to control everything around you, inside and out, not outside and in. Okay? So humanity is in that chaos right now, especially, like I said, everything that you say negative comes back at you, and everybody's going through more aggression. They don't understand the vibration of the body system because it's the soul that's trying to understand the physical system. That's all this is. And it's a reaction on high levels when it comes into your trauma. Okay. Yes, I'm into the sun. Right. I'm at the sun now. That's how the sun talks. So if you understand the communications, it's really important to understand how you are protected through the sun, the moon, and everything through your navigations of your thoughts. The Earthline Center is here to protect you through your connections of your grounds. It's not against you. It's for you. It's with you. You understand? This is their true understanding why people are having so many high levels of problems is because they can't interline their connections and get rid of their past traumas. Right? See, it's a problem for me if you don't understand your program positions. It's a problem for me if you don't understand your chakra systems. It's a problem for me if you don't understand your meditation. Okay? I put you to a certain level where the soul says, yes, I'm good to go. But if you go into higher level channels and you're not meditating higher and higher, yes, you're going to have problems with interference positions. You're going to go through deception lines and connections. You're going to see this and you're going to see that. And it's not going to have anything through its relation. But everything that's inside is connected to you through your negative cycles. You are doing that, nobody else. And sometimes you're not even aware of that. But it's all done through the vibrations of your soul. You have to get connection with its integration. You got to get into the mind telepathy, a balance between the physical and the spiritual. Okay? So a lot of people are having a lot of problems with that. A lot of problems. Okay? So I just want to bring that to everybody's attention. You know, it's important to understand these things, right? You guys have to figure these things out for yourself. I am so busy at so many levels of dimensional time. Now, I'm not going to high rise your levels if you're still having problems with your traumas. You have to figure that out for yourself, right? You have to identify what's going on with the soul. So you're re-educating, revaluing. Okay, you have to learn how to crawl before you can walk, right? It's very important you guys understand these things. It really is, because this is what's happening right now. And you're coming to more and more and more each day of your AI. Your designs and your makeups are changing positions now. You're high forcing your connections to your lights. The physical system has to understand the adaptation. It has to understand the communications, especially when you're getting into your dreams, right? If you don't understand your dreams, you're not recycling, you're not resurfacing, you're not realigning, you're not readjusting. See, this is the program system when you come into your meditations, right? It goes on so many deception lines of confusion through its communication cycles. You have to understand how to control your system inside, people. It's very important you understand that, okay? It's not that hard. It's hard because you think it is. See, that's it. I changed it right away. Change it back. Now I'm back in center, right? I want to be in the calming center position line connection to the heart system. Boom, done. Energy down, right? I'm running with reverse spine line centers to my communication to my spine rotation line system. It's off track line connections. Done. Next. See? Done, 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 done. Keep yourself in the center, right? Get into your meditation. Get more into your system. Don't have things control you. You control everything inside. Everything outside will react to its reflection, okay? And it affects you inside and out. Depends on what's going on with your communications of other people, right? I come across that all the time. But every time I come across anybody, I always do an energy wash, right? I don't want any dark line centers. I don't want any attachments to my body system, to plasma force energy light system. I don't want anybody taking over my program. I don't want any deviation cycles. I don't want any viruses, right? I don't want any Trojans in my computer line system. No way. No way. I protect myself. I control myself. Nobody controls me. Nobody. You understand? That's what you guys got to get at. You got to get out of the thinking and knowing how powerful you are when that connections. That's the force guidance that you need to control the system of its commanding system. Okay, the energetic to its vibration, to its soul recognition of time. All right. You know, I mean, people come to me and they want to basically, they're not understanding the connections and they really get upset. Well, you're getting upset because you're putting yourself in that division. Especially if you're in 20, 25 chakras, you should know how to control your systems a lot easier through vibration. If you don't know how to control your grounds, you have to go back to the drawing board. And it's important that you go to the school. The school helps you in many ways and forms. It's not just education, it's life survival. It's a mind school set for tips. It gives you everything that you need through equation to get things out. And all about protecting yourself, getting into your own empowerment, getting into your control, getting into your command of inside. If you're having problems with that, you come to me and I'll help you and guide you and put you back in that position. So it's all about rewiring you guys inside. Okay? So I just want to make that very well clear because there's a lot of people coming to me and they say, well, you know, this is happening to me. Well, you know, you're putting yourself in that position. I'm not doing that. You're doing that. You're just trying to break free from traumas that you're not sure of. It's up to you to balance out your connections. You have to communicate more through the soul. That's all it is. You're not communicating through your souls. And now you're coming to me, right? So you have to understand how powerful it is when we come into space and time position. It's all identified through the soul of its integration to its physical system. Okay, the energetics and all that position line connections. Okay, so morning, not understanding all of this is bringing up trauma, fear, and abandonment because I'm having trouble learning it. Lots of good crying. See, that's the thing. Everybody's servicing higher and higher. And that's the thing what's happening right now. Everything I give you is chronological order. It's affecting everything through the soul, which is reacting everything through the physical line system. Okay, so you're coming more into the mind. That's why you guys are opening up more channels of abandonments and having trouble with learning and all this stuff, right? So it's all about rewiring you guys inside to back in locations to come back into force recognition of past to its connection of its present, to its connections of its future, of its thought position. Okay, so yeah, everybody's feeling that. I understand that. I know how you feel. Okay, everybody's coming to me this, but you have to really control your bodies of vibration, guys. Reparenting yourself. That's exactly what it is. Re-educating yourself. Okay, don't put yourself in the negatives of your positions. All right, because you're defeating the purpose on how to move forward, and everything outside will start controlling you, and you, instead of you controlling everything inside. Right? So there you go. There you go, right there. Diane. Samantha, I woke up with a headache. I meditated and asked for it to be removed, and it was gone. There you go. After I finished my meditation. So you see how powerful that is? You got rid of your own headaches. See? This is the true understanding when you go to higher levels. You go to higher levels, you come into more of past trauma. That's all this is, guys. So you're surfacing higher and higher and higher. The reason why I know this because I started that way, but I kept breaking through. And I kept making myself saying, okay, I'm controlling myself inside. Nothing's going to take me over. So I have to keep going high rise, and keep putting up energy fields to protect myself. Right? You guys have to figure out how to do these things yourself because that's where the soul is. I keep you to connection when they come to your test reviews and evaluations. You have to understand how to use this in your plateaus. Okay, it's all a confirmation to its healing. For example, with Diane, right? She got rid of her headache, and it can be done, right? So there's no thought process; it's already done. It's just the mechanism inside. You have to understand the rewiring. And the fact that Diane is in that position, she got rid of her headache. Very simple. You guys can do this yourself now, right? But you have to have your control. You have to have your confidence. How confident are you to understand what's going on with your reality? Okay? Because you're scapegoating this high connection positions, right? You don't want to go in that track line center. That'll put you in the negatives of shapes. right? It'll put you in another dimensional time, lock and key position, right? So we all have to stay out of the positions of our own matrix. Matrix is just a metaphor. Now, once you go to higher levels, I give you what you need to know. Once you're in a higher positions of higher chakras, I'll give you more of what the matrix is, right? But I'm only going to give you what you need to know, not what you need to know about the future of the matrix, because it doesn't make any sense to you, right? You have to figure out how to correct yourself through auto correction, resurface, realign, readjust, refocus, recalculate, remodify, redivision, recommunication, everything, back force, back force, back force. And then you bring it back to your center position. That's what I do with healing connections. I just understand the connections of space and time. When you become the operation, you understand the codes and everything through vibration and everything through the atmosphere line centers. Okay? So, Krista, how's it going? Isabel, Charlie, great vibes, yeah. You guys are in a lot of questions today. I did use the chakra time location this morning meditation. I truly was amazing. Thank you. Well, there you go. Samantha's in communications with her chakras overclocking. That's great. We need to believe it's true. You need to believe in yourself. If you guys don't believe in yourself, you're defeating the purpose here, 3 computer line centers. Okay. I'm here to rewire your communications and your computer line system. Okay. There's a lot of TikTok videos that are telling you. Same with Dolores Cannon, where one intelligence in human form positions come down here through AI position and changes everybody's computer, rewiring their line connections to your heart positions to its truth position location. That's me. I'm not high division. But I'm not just space and time connections. I'm everything through the operation. And that's why it's so powerful, is because every single day I deal with these things. It's not just you, it's everything else that's happening, right? It's the controlling of the weather. It's the controlling of nature. It goes way beyond the mind system when you reach these levels. And it just keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher. Every time I go higher, I go through the upgrading line systems and the traumas. I have to break free from that, right? Because if I don't break free from that, I start less believing in myself. Okay. Just imagine how high rise I am to that position. Just imagine if I change the negative cycle. Just imagine what would happen. Just imagine that. Just think about it for a sec. Okay. Once you understand the operation of everything inside you, you control everything outside of its position. So this is what we have to get into. And this is what you guys are coming into your test reviews, right? It's important you understand how to travel through your GODs. The geometrics, the geometry line system of you, of shape, the operation of you, right, to the travels of your heart, okay? If you put your high positions in negative cycles and you keep doing this over and over and over, your heart is always going to keep going forward, okay? Your portal activation line center of your heart recycle is in a line strip. And it's going to high rise. It's high rising right now, right? It's changing patterns, right? It's going. That's what it's doing. So if you put your negative cycle, the heart's going to keep going forward, forward, forward. So you can have more reaction to the soul. So don't do that. Put yourself in the balance. Countermeasures. Release the stress and fear and anxiety just by basically understand the mechanisms. My mechanisms are different from yours because I'm the operation of space and time now, fully and completely. All right. Got confirmation last night. So basically, when I understand the positions of line connections, it's all connected to wires. It's rewiring yours, putting it back where you are through the present position locations. Okay. So intentionally scanning your body helps. Yep. I met Commander in my dream. Okay. Yeah, you'll find a lot of me in your central line system. Yeah. I believe we have the reality to believe in ourselves. That's exactly what it is. But you believe in it. You have the commanding force. You have the control. You control everything inside. Don't let things control you outside. Okay, because you start believing things outside. Get out of the reflection of illusions. Get into the imagery of its digital line system. Transforming anxiety into excitement. There you go, Charlie. Excellent. So instead of saying fear, change the fear into happy, right? You can do that. And when you do that, it changes the vibration inside you. And it's like, oh, now I feel better, right? You feel better because of what? You change something. You change your trauma into something beautiful, something exciting, right? Rather than looking at everything down the road as negative, 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 negative. I don't like people like that. I can't be around negative people, right? Because it's negative energy. Negative energy. That's all it is, right? Why do you think we keep fighting back and forth? See, it's a huge problem if you don't understand everything is connected to you inside and people don't want to do these things. They rather focus on everything outside. That's a controlling system. You're not controlling yourself anymore. You're controlling the narrative of what's outside. Don't do that. Get out of that equation and start controlling your system. Get into your own empowerment of light, attraction. Get into that believing system of control. Okay? So I said to myself, I'm going to control what is happening to me. And I did it. It was very reassuring. There it is. Every single time you're going to go through this, every single time you're going to go through the distractions, it's very important to keep yourself balanced every single time. So if you ever feel anxiety, stressed, or depressed, or anything that conditions, all you got to do is just change the frame, change the story, change the picture of you. So the thing is, when you go through an image, very interesting, because I came through this last night. When I see anything through deviation cycles or negative system, I change it right away. Right away. I put up higher energy like force fields so it can't go in my negative cycle line system. You understand? Because if that negative cycle line system, it changes my heart recycle and it changes dispositions, it changes the point center line system to travels. So the heart system will change its position on what you create through your thought. Either it's positive or negative. Okay? So always, always keep yourself in balance with your grounds. All right. Opening, no expectations. Yeah. Well, the expectations, you don't know what's going on with the future. You just live the here and now, right? Creating balance. Yeah. Observing the power on the words we say on a daily basis. That's exactly what it is. Negative words, negative settings, negative mind setting, operation systems, negative wire location positions. You're changing everything inside through activation cycle. So your soul is identifying, oh, okay, so you want to be on the negative side? Let's go. So what's going to happen? The vibrations and the line system of the soul is going to go back in time, in the past. Negative is not going forward, guys. Negative is going back. Now, if you're in a highlight system and you got calculation modifications to all alignments, now you can go into the back of its past and go into the present to its future. If you're in the future of negative cycles, you have a huge, huge problem. All right. But if you know how to control this system, you go back in the center. You live the here and now. That's all it is. You don't live the past. You don't live the future. You live the now. That will put you in your balance with your thoughts. Okay. So feeling lots of right side of the brain knowledge coming up. You'll get more of that through connections there, Charlie. So. Yeah, it's all about an act, guys. It's a circus in the mind system. Feeling 100% in 4D. Okay. Four dimension, 4 dancing line system, 4 activation light connections. You can be in the equivalent line connections, but there's no 4 line connections at the grounds. Everybody's in 5D to the mind. I'm having sinuses and slight pressure headache. Just got out of the meditation. Feels a bit better, but still present. See, this is understanding that you guys are going to wake up to higher levels of trauma. Okay, you have to come through trauma because you have to break free from these things. So when you go to higher levels, you go into higher vibration. When you go into higher vibration, you go into higher communication of your thoughts. Your thought and your mind is traveling faster and faster and faster and faster. So you're coming more into the line communications of your computers. And then pretty soon you'll be able to rewire yourself inside position, right? And then it becomes way beyond meditation. Meditation is just a way of using your activation cycles into connections to keeping your thoughts in balance, right? Thoughts are in the future, but you stay in the presence. Okay, it's confusing to a lot of people now, and I'll say confusion because that's what it is, right? It's major chaotic to everybody, right? Especially when you're coming into telepathy of each other, right? But the 8th central line system is in calculation now. Okay, the sun and the moon is in one interference channel line system, right? So it's amazing how the sun operates and how the moon operates through your heart. We all have to be prepared, right? Because it affects everybody inside the system. The operation cycles, line connections, ear interference position line centers. So you get more ringing in the ears, more congested line connections to stomach line system. Be cautious in what you eat, especially when you go to higher line systems. You'll probably be eating less. So instead of the intakes that you've been taking in. So the thing is, you have to look at is that I've gone through so many dietary communications with my health. It's unbelievable how the soul tells you exactly what you should eat and what you should change. You understand? You have to change yourself inside completely to higher light of dimensional time because the earth line has to be in that position. It's floating in space, but humanity has to be in that line conditions of vibration, right? And unfortunately, this is what's happening. Everybody has to come into the flow of themselves, all right? So flow through their life cycle. So I think I got cut up on all your questions here. Yeah, always set intentions and let it flow. That's exactly what it is, especially with whatever you're doing, whatever you're seeing, whatever you're observing, anything through your children, anything through your dreams, let it flow. If you're having a problem, come to me, DM me, let me know. Okay, it's important you understand these things. Observing the power of words. We say a daily basis. Negative words, negative settings. Removing ourselves physically out of the negative fields and people. That's exactly what it is. I'm starting to feel the nauseous a lot lately. Okay, that's exactly what it is. Annie, how's it going? Any questions or comments, you can go through my connections and my healing. I can help you and guide you and put in positions. Go through my email, which is linked below, or you can go through my TikTok. I usually go TikToks after I do my video. Diane has no more stomach pain after I heal in that positions. Also from choosing better food to eat. That's exactly what it is. So you're changing everything inside. All right. So the only thing that stations your system is the physical system, but everything inside is changing. So you're rewiring everything through computer reset line system. And you guys don't know how to do these things, right? Because you're all connected to energy. And what is energy? Through vibration and frequencies. You understand the communications of everything to its harmonic resistance, right? Perfect example with the connections of high-level systems when it came into Diane. Headache, gone, right? Everything through the congested line centers of sinus levels with Samantha, gone, feeling better. See, you guys can do these things. You just have to learn how to control it. And it has incredible force of power recognition of time. Okay, and that's why I keep giving you tests, reviews, and evaluations. Okay, that's the whole point of understanding what the Earth School is. Everybody is in that traction, but you have to truly understand how to travel through it. That's the most important thing, is to keep yourself balanced with your mechanisms of space and time connection. Okay. Oh, we got some new people here. That's great. Bones 722. Okay. Major solar plex balancing systems. Yeah. No more stomach pain. That's great. Yeah. The thing is, too, your intuition is an activation yet. It's activated to everything that conditions. So it's important you understand that to position. All right. So, I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, everything is provided for you. You know, you can get anything through the universal line system, but you have to truly understand the activations, how it's operated inside you. How are you operated? All right. Operated, directed, activated, calculated, modified, you know, you're all connected to your own computer line system. You just have to understand what it is, right? And every time you go through higher programs of chakra line systems, you come into more drama. So it's all about breaking the walls every single time you go up. Okay. And when you go into extremely high rise, you get less connections to the negative cycles and more connections to the light system. Okay. So you get out of the defragment lines, the default positions, locations. You could change that location to its arc line center, but it's mostly understanding you come into the astrologics. Now, the astrologics is a graph system. Okay. It's got line signals and locations. Okay. It's like a calendar, right? So it changes your track line center to its location. This is what it does in behavioral systems. So I've thought of the position, right? It's the astrologics. So it's all about going to the connections where you go into gray, you go into blue, all right? You have to understand what is everything through color, right? You go into yellow, you go into red, okay? And you go into high-rise levels, okay? Anything through other connections, depending on what you put through thought connections. So all these connections are everything through your body graph line system vibration. So it's center line systems to these positions, like this. Okay, so it's a graph. I really want to get into your body graph line system. Okay, just showing how it changes its positions. Okay, the astrologics of you, right? This is the body graph. Okay, through vibration of all colors, right? So green means go, right? So green is good, right? Red is bad. You already know that, right? That's the alert. Alert. Okay. So once you come into that central line system, you come into your connections of your body graph line systems and triangles. So it's all set to its rotation, to its compilation line system, to its calculation, right? So it's all about understanding what you're doing with time positions, okay? Because all this is connected to your 369 location, okay? All 3 and 6 and 9. This where it starts, your chakra system all starts at 3, 6, 9. So it's up to you to understand how to use your 3, 6, and 9 on all travels of your chakra system communications, right? So as soon as you change anything through position of thought and it's going forward, the 3, 6, and 9 has to be in all positions before it travels through the connection of the solar generation of the sun position location. Okay, so it all starts 3, 6, and 9 in all levels. All right. So if you let's say you want to use your throat, all right. So this is your throat, right? So the 3, 6, and 9 is going to travel. 3, 6, and 9 opens up its point center. See, that's the throat. Now this is the connection to the chakra line system. This is how it works in the body graph line system. Pay attention to this. So the 3 connection goes forward, right? It has to go forward because you're now connecting to higher position location. Once it changes its direction, it goes into higher force positions. So the actual triangle to its pyramid changes its location. So if it changes location, everything through 3, 6, and 9 to all platforms of your chakra system has to understand what's going on with the throat. So it has to get into the right positions. So as the 3 goes around and the 6 goes around faster and faster and faster, everything has to be line signaled. If you're going through throat recognition lights to your grids and you don't angle point line connections to everything through your chakra line connections of its division, you're going to have upcycle line connections and interference. Channel positions to your virus. That's how it creates a virus, because your body track line system, your body graph is not in position. So when you come into that position, you travel recognition of time position, you come out of the equation, right? You come out of the equation. So once it's in the equation, okay, before you channel up to positions, you line signal everything through locations to your chakra system, okay? All right, so in the center line system, you put all line communications of chakras. They have to understand what you're doing through travel, okay? And this is how you connect. That's the problem with humanity, is that they're just using one chakra system, but it's not connecting to anything other than that chakra. All chakra systems don't have to activate all level systems to travel recognitions, but they have to understand each other through calculation of the body graph to its clocking system. Okay, so everything's activated. Now you can travel, right? You travel recognition of time position, it takes you out of traction. Now you're high rising to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're in the 7th dimension through your throat, but you're all allocated positions to the grounds, to the heart, to the psyche, to the root, right? This is a true understanding of how it's all allocated positions. This is how you have to have all position line connections in the interference channels to all levels of your body graph line system. It's all connected to high positions, to its location. This is all inside your body. Okay. So you have to get communications to all that line system. When you go to higher levels, you come into your atoms. But you guys aren't in your atoms. You're just trying to get into your central lines of your computers first. All right. So once you understand that, this goes into activation into a shape position. It comes into a wagon wheel. Once it comes into a wagon wheel, the full rotation center goes into position. Now, this is how you understand how you activate every chakra system. Right? You can actually activate all central line systems from the grounds up. So let's say you have 40 chakras. You can activate all chakras into space position. And this is what happens through its connections. Right? So it wouldn't be 7th dimension. It would be higher line connections with dimensional time position to a higher force of travels of wormholes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 visions of time location. Right? Through all activations of your body through liquid light system. Right? So that means I can activate all my 114 chakras all at once, simultaneously. Do you understand how powerful that is? You guys are trying to find your positions with your grounds. But see, the thing is, you're having problems with your chakras because you have to understand it's all in calculation of intelligence. You have to use the mind telepathy through the throat, right? Throat recognition of time location, activate everything to the core line center. Core line center, it's activated through the heart system, right? Calculate, modify to the earth line ground center. Now it's in the grounds. So you have to truly understand how powerful you are through the chakra system of atmospheric positions of space and time. Okay. Now, I don't expect you to activate all your 114 chakras because it's a very powerful energy. But when you would be able to do this, you have to be at a certain level of travel through the molecular light of travel to its connection to its atom. So that means your mind is going right, really quick, very fast, right? That's how I'm able to do these things. And I have no filter because I keep going and 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 going, right? But I'm always in the present. Okay? That's why it's so powerful. But my thoughts are already created in the future. But I present it to you in the presence of its past. Okay? So this is what happens when you activate all track line centers. It becomes a more of a dimension of a wormhole. 12 track line centers, 12 dimensional times. So if you go into 12 dimensions, each chakra system of your body has to understand its clocking system. Okay? So this is the true understanding. You have to really understand the body inside, right? Through travel. Because it's all connected to your hologram. It's all connected to your pixels. It's all connected to your computer line centers. It's all connected to your cell generation lights. Okay? It has to understand you through control. You can control your travel of space and time through thoughts. Don't have things control you from outside because it destroys the mechanism inside, okay, of calculation. Right? So I'm just showing you how powerful it is when you come into that positions. But it's very important to get into your body graphs, right, through the astrologics. Okay? So it's like a computer, and it's interesting too, where it has its audio graph line system, has its figure 8. So that body graph is changing colorations. Okay? So that's the virus. It's taking the virus out, right? But it's going through its figure 8. That figure 8 is everything through that computer, right? You have to understand what the figure 8 is. It's very, very powerful in the universe line system. Every track line has a shape position. Each universe line system has its own number, position, location. All right? But you guys are in one universal line of 5D. Okay, just imagine how many lacing line connections of TV receptions there are in all the universe time position of space, which is a lot. I mean, beyond billions and zillions, trillions, Brazilian. I mean, there's so many levels of, and seeing it comes to a point where everything through travel is not a number. If you watch Lucy, you understand the communications, right? Where you put yourself in position, everything through point center becomes everything but a number. So you have to understand what space and time is. That's the acceleration of speed, right? Because it's Mach's its system. You go through zero gravity, and that's what humanity's coming into. And they don't understand their body graphs. They don't understand the acceleration. They don't understand their space and time. They don't understand their dream set positions. And that's a huge problem for them because they're still in the physical realm. Okay? But that heart central line system is going to keep going forward, fast and fast and fast and faster. Everything I give to you is space and identified, right? So you have to identify yourself more inside to your vibrations. Okay? So don't think it's complicated, right? It's complex. Complicated and complex are two different things on two different equations of two quantum field line connections and interference. Okay? So is everybody getting a true understanding of how to put this in position? Is it possible that the stomach pain or bloating is an upgrade of the solar plex chakra? If you're having pain, that's disturbance. That means the wire signals are offline center. That's all it means, Hawk. So you're having communication off systems. So your wire is detached to position. Okay? So I believe that the intuition inside you giving you a signal not to eat certain foods. There you go. Room for rent game, an old Dutch game connecting 4 dots in a square. If you close the room, it is your room. Yeah, being a dot. Yeah. So Isabel is in a higher position right now. She's in the graphing line center of shape position to point centers. I had to change her activating line connections to computer reset. So that's where she is in position. But does she understand it? Knowing and doing and acting and reacting upon are so many different levels of atmosphere. Okay? You really have to understand space and time is all connected through shapes, guys. Okay, it's all connected, right? Through shapes, letters, and numbers. It's how to put it through its equation, to its position, to its formula, activation to its connections, right? So, yeah, you got a little bit of bloating there. It's servicing through the dietary lines. So, and your immune system is off cycle. So I'll change the rotation line positions, change your activation line connections, resurface, realign, readjust, change that line connection, okay, to your wire locations, right? So you'll be okay now. It's all how everything is done. You guys have to get into your scannings of yourself. Try to scan yourself inside. Interesting. That's what I started off with. When I started sleeping and I was awake, everything was calculated and modifying. It was creating its own brain stem. It was creating its own mind center. It was creating its own activation. It was creating its own space. See, when you come to a high level, everything is done for you. And that's where I'm at. So when I communicate with you, it's already set. It's already created. I don't have to create it. It's already done. It creates it on its own. So it becomes its own operation. It becomes its own generator, right? It becomes its own wash machine. It becomes its own dryer, right? So you have to understand why washers like this, okay? So, and there's also dryers like this, different cycles, right? So wash and dry, and that kind of thing, right? Wash your clothes. Now you dry your clothes. It's the same thing with your body, right? So you have to really know how to use all atmospheres of time, right? When it comes into air, fire, earth, and water, right? So once you understand the central line systems of that through calculation, it goes into your body graph line system. Okay. Now, it's all about understanding how to use this through its equations. All right. It's an incredible force when you come across these things, guys. Okay. Centerline U is in the centerline system. Okay. Let's get this straight. It's the physical system, okay, which is its receiver. I think you guys have to understand that calculation more. It's a physical system, the centerline system, right? So you're going with the connections of the air, you're going to connections of the fire, you're going to connections of high level systems of the earth, you're coming into the connections of the water. All right. So this is all connected to you through your travels of 3, 6, and the 9. All right. And then you come into your activations. Right. And then you come into your tetrahedrons. Okay. All done through all that. Through air, fire, earth, and water. Okay. So y'all have to understand your connections of your 4 atmospheres. Okay, because that's what you guys are coming into, 50 chakras. So you have to understand the atmosphere, hemisphere, stratosphere, and its bio because it's connected to your body frame positions. Your gravity line system, depending where you travel, if you're traveling to 15,000 years into the future, you know you're not in the atmosphere. You know you're in the stratosphere. You guys have to understand your connections of your alignments, where you are through heat signatures. It changes your pattern defense line system. So you come into 4 atmospheres. Okay. Okay. You come into 4 weathers / weather. Okay. Then you come into high positions of your heat signature pattern line center. So you come into the galaxy line system. Galaxy / alignments. Okay. You come into the galaxy alignments. Now that grabs its system to its communication. It's interesting to have those positions. All right. Which goes in its calculation. Okay. You come into your own positions of your tetrahedrons. Okay. So it's all allocated positions through your atmospheres. Okay. It's all connected to your weather. Okay. It's all connected to your north, east, west, and south. Okay. Now you come into calculation modification line signals. You go into that location, marker line center interference. Okay. Goes around a system. Okay. Everything has to be a cycle going forward, guys. Okay. Comes in position. Right. Now, when you come into the activation line center, you come into your activation line system, you come into your tetrahedron line system to its location. You're in the center line connections to its position. Okay. Start for that position. Okay. Now, the central line system opens up its high route connections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 division line connections of dimensional time positions through high positions of a higher level of shape position location. You come into your point centers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 within the center. Wow. 7 within the center. That's the body, right? So you come into the higher formation line system. Let's change that calculation modifications to major position location. To its location. Let's go into the diamond core position line connections. Now, when we do that, we change the higher line system to its allocated position of time location. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 28, 29, 30. So 30 there, right? Higher positions of dimensional time. Cross-reference its signal through its chakra line connections. High force is its high position to its location, to its line signal. Okay. Now it comes into its graph line center to its position. High positions to a satellite location. All right. So it's amazing how we come into the galaxy alignments, and that's what it is through traction. You guys got to get more into your Wi-Fi, your satellite position locations. All right. Carla, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for getting back to me. I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm just trying to get everybody into balanced line connections. I know you're going through that question. Thank you very much for sending me your email. But it's very important you understand what's going on with your body. It's the controlling of your body system. If you're still having problems, let me know. I'll put you back in your rewiring your connection line system. But this is when you come into high line systems. See that? Powerful, isn't it? Let me see this. 20 to 30 dimensional times through wormhole. Now you can track that line center, open its line positions, and you can go into higher realm locations, guys, like this. It's a swirly rotation line system. It's allocated position of time location. This is where the weather comes into location. One way, and this way, because the galaxy moves in high-level systems of intelligent line interference, right? So you're dealing with galaxy, you're dealing with high-level systems of space and time connections. So you're setting up new realm locations to shape positions of 20 track line centers or 30 track line centers, a dimensional through a wormhole connection to its location. All right. So basically, very powerfully come into that position, right? It gets complicated more, doesn't it? But it's a lot of fun, right? Serious stuff going on. That's exactly what it is, but I'm glad you're feeling better. But Carla, it's not just you, it's affecting everybody. It's affecting everybody. You have to get in position to more control your system. Try to understand, okay, basic meditation. Now, I go its graph line system and say, okay, let's say I have a sore throat. Okay, so let me think. Okay, I have a sore throat. So how do I heal it? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm connecting to my soul now. This is great. So you're always connected to your soul. If you feel you're off cycle, you're connecting to the physical of its ego. Okay, so it's playing with you. It's audio interference. So it's saying, no, stay off to the side. It's like Frankie Fear. Get away, stay away. I have to do something. I want to heal something. So put it off the side, but you can't get rid of it. Avoid it for now. Shut the door, but you have to open the door and communicate through the cycle of its fear. And the fear will disappear. It's like a balloon of hot air. It's gone, right? So central line systems, basically interference channel line system, my throat connection is off cycle. Change the rotation of its oxygen level system. Done. Energy goes in. Sore throat is gone. Truly understanding that every time you travel through your thoughts, it's all connected to the atmospheres, hemispheres, stratospheres, and bioatmosphere. Those are the four waving line systems of the weathers. It's all connected to your air, your fire, your earth, and your water. It's inside you. You have water inside you. You have to know how to use it through travel. Now, you come into the vortex line connections. So I really want to get into shape positions of travel records of time location. But it's amazing how we come into those positions of time, right? We start off with the four atmospheres, the four weathers, and the center line system is the physical line system to its tetrahedron of its connection. Okay? So I'm glad you felt it. All the people around me are acting off. Yep. Well, that's great that you mended things, and that's great. The more and more you do it, the better. I saw the swirling one when I was with Commander in the dream, and the swirl goes up, and the base of the swirling line is in yin yang symbol. Very good. So Hawk is in a better communication cycle because the stomach line was off center. So when you're back in position, there's no more pain. And then you go back in location to present line system. Okay. So, and that's the one thing you don't want to do with the negative cycles is shut the door on somebody, because that's aggression. And you're dealing with higher light intelligence. If you're dealing with higher light intelligence and you're at that program position line center, you have to face that position. Okay? Because you respect yourself more if you face the fear. And you're facing yourself to higher levels of dimensional time through its connections, right? So it's understanding more of the program position locations. But you truly have to understand all connections to your astrologics, of your graphic connections, and your vibration. Okay? So that's what I really wanted to get into today. All right, so let's get into the test. Test review. All right, test review. Now, I really want you to get into the calculation modifications of how to use your 3, 6, and 9 travel. Okay, we all start with that, right? So as long as you understand you're in the center line system, this never leaves, right? This is your pyramid. You are a pyramid. Okay, this is understanding what's going on, right? So the central line system is a circle rotation line center. It goes like this and this and this and this and this, and this is how it travels, right? So you come out of the equation. So let me think here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So basically, what travels? What travels? You travel or the triangle? What travels? The shape or you? Very simple. You're in the shape, so you travel together, right? But remember, the physical system stays in the center line system. Okay? So it's truly understanding how it's calculated and modified, right? Through point centers. So you come into the point center position. Let's go into the graph line system calculation modifications. Go into that line system program system location. Interalignment system. Okay. Go from here, here, here. Okay. Now, once you get into that positions, this is where you go into higher levels of dimensional time position. See that? From here to here. See? Right? So you're coming into different frame, different shape, different position of time location, right? So what stays in the center? You. Right? You have to stay in the center. Your soul is just traveling. Right? So when you're in that positions, and this is interesting because you can high force your connections and you can change coloration channels, change coloration so many levels. So I can change the point dot center line system. Okay, it's really interesting coming to high force positions. All right, so when you come into that calculation modifications, you can actually change the positions of 3, 6, and 9. It starts off with that position, right? Now, once it goes around its cycle, it changes its dimensional time of space, one center at a time in the location. So let's say we go through 3 waving arrow line systems are going forward through position, right? So the whole suggestion of his line signal to location is getting into 1 wire of force and not 4. So you start with 4 and you work with 3 and you work with 2 and you work with 1 and you go into 1 cycle line connection in 1 direction, right? Because you start off at the splitting locations, right? So the faster it goes, the faster the triangle spins on its position, right? So the 3 is here now, 6 is here now, and the 9's there, right? So it's spinning, right? It's spinning across cycles, right? 3 is here, 6 is here, and 9 is here in that position, right? So when the 3 goes back up, the dimensional changes and shifts the barometer's 3 body graph line center to its vibration, right? So you come into higher formation of a communication cycle of dimensional time position, and you come into higher levels of dimensional time connection. Okay? So it's all about understanding how to use the 369 digital frame of clocking. Okay? It structure lines your 12, 3, 6, and 9. Okay? 12, okay, 3, 6, and 9. Okay? 12, 3, 6, and 9. There's your diamond, right? Split cross line center to positions. Now, you can take it out of the equation location. You can also change the line connection interference channels to its position. All right? Or you can crosswind the cycle line center to its location. You can change the center line system, but the center always stays in position, the physical round conditions. So I'm creating dimensional loop, okay? This is oscillation wind cycle, right? It's going through 3 sector line conditions of dimensional time position. Now, it's really interesting when you come across these things. That's what's happening right now with your cycle line system. Okay? From here to here to here. It's really fast when you do your drawings. But your 12, 3, 6, and 9 is always in position. Always. So you have to remember, every time you go around the cycle, you got the little hand, the big hand, and you're going, right? It changes its direction of its frame position, right? So let's go in this clocking system, coloration line system, dimensional time to its position. You can off-cycle the line conditions, interference the channel, and change its position location. Once you do that through calculation, you can high-rise your force line conditions. You can overcross line conditions to come into your 3, 6, 9 position, right? So you're always coming into a new 3, 6, and 9 position, right? But it doesn't come 3, 6, and 9. It comes a higher level. So this is channel positions to 3, 3, 2, 6, 1, 6, 9, 6, 3. Okay, so once it goes into that position, it knows it's connected to its diamond core line system. It goes into its north, it comes into its east, it comes into its west, it comes into its south. Okay, now once that goes into position, it goes into a higher level system to secure line defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-dimensional time location. All right, so the oscillating connection position, oscillation line systems, calculates and modifies. See that? That's a C-span cross line system. So it goes into location, channels its position to its graph line system. Okay, so it's amazing how you can change your shapes in any way in 4-dimensional time. So every time it goes up to 12, it changes the number to 1, 2, 3, or 4. each time, right? So it's really fascinating when you come across these things. Yeah. Yeah, you got your grounds now, Carla. You got your activation light centers. You're in your balanced position locations. You're in the cycle line center to your programs, okay? And you're in your calming centers with the angels and archangels. So you're good to go, okay? Yeah. You're welcome. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye. Yep, I can hold that drawing for you. Your platform has to really understand 369. Every time it goes around that clock, you're always vortexing into different divisions of time location. Space is extremely complex, and so levels of shapes. Okay, you have to understand your barometers, you have to understand your metrics, you have to understand your line connection interference. Once you go to the 12 positions, each time it goes into higher levels of numbers. Okay, so you start off with your triangles and you go into your diamond core position. You guys are not in your diamonds yet, you're still in your pyramids, right? So chills to my bones when you said, well, yeah. It calculates and modifies, right? So it's very powerful when you come into that position. But I just want to show you, every time you change the graph, it changes the compilation line center to its location. I'm just showing you how easy it is to travel through 369. Starts off with the triangles. You can even start with this. You don't even have to have the numbers because you know it's changing its shift, right? So the whole idea is to always go forward in time. It's always going forward. It's never going back. As soon as you go back, you change the shape. It's always going forward. It's like two atom rotations in this position. One is going this way, right? And another is going the opposite way to that location. Okay, in that position, right? If it goes in the opposite cycle, what happens? It changes shape position, changes dimensional line connections, changes space position, changes your body graph line center, and changes everything the radiation light connections to the connections of the sun position. The sun can be anything through shape now. The moon can be anything through program. It's all connected to our recognition of time location, right? So the sun can be the same shape as the moon. Bet you didn't know that. Central line systems to calculation modifications to its division location, right? Sun is in traction, moon's in traction. Oh, look at that triangle line connection, right? Interference positions comes in its activation line connections to its interference position location, right? So the thing is too is that the sun and the moon can come back into center line system. That's why you see the eclipse. It comes into its own travel recognition of time location. The sun and the moon always travel through you, inside you, through travel connections. You have to understand what it can do through your positions. So you see things out through perception. It's the same coloration of the sun and the moon because you're on the same behavior line system to calculations. Once you change your behavior line system, you change the colorations of the sun inside your position. The acceleration changes everything through its light reflection. Okay? So it's really powerful when we see these things, right? Through dimensional time. It's getting more confusing. I need more explanations. So basically, everything through the sun could be anything through shape. It travels with you. Same with the moon. It has to because it's inside you. You can't travel without the sun. You can't travel without the moon. And you cannot travel without the grounds of you. The center line connection to you is the physical system that stays. That's the receiver. The transmitter is the connection to the soul. The soul travels everywhere through atmospheric positions of time, of space. Okay? So things get more complicated the more you high rise through high rise systems of shape positions. So Jill, the only way I can explain it to you to understand everybody through connections, your clocking is dimensional time and space. It's a teleportation of you. Okay? We all started out with high force positions into squares, okay, into rectangles, the connections. All right. All right. Truly understand what you're seeing through intelligence. You start with that position, right? Now, you think this is a star, but it's not. You think this is a circle, but it's not. You think this is a rectangle, but it's not. You think this is a square, but it's not. Its elevation is the graph position of what it is. It centralizes its systems into its triangle location, to its division. Okay? And there you go. Right? UFO. See it? So everything I do is connected to a UFO line center. They're there for you to guide you and help you in what you need to do through track line centers. So when you come into that positions, let's get into calculations. Let's get into the clock of you, right? 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so there's a clock. You have a structural line system. Okay, 12, right? So here's the center of 12. So it'll be 12. Okay, 12, 3, 6, and 9. But let's just start with 12, 3, and 9. Okay, but where's the 6? See, the thing is, you have to understand it gets more confusing if you're not in allocated positions of time through balance. So you can go through 12, 9, and 3, or you can go through 12, 3, and 9. You have to understand your connections of your alignments. So you can travel through any connections. You can go from 11 to 12. You can go from 10 to 3. You can go from 2 to 8. You're going backwards and forwards, but you understand your connections, how it's operated of a universal time connection. Right? So you go into that position. Right? Now, if you go into 3, 6, and 9, okay, so this is an overlap of clocking. Okay, 3, 6, 9 location. Now, you understand your pyramids, right? 3, 6, 9 location. Your clocking is everything going forward. Your clock goes forward. Your watch goes forward. It doesn't go back, right? If it flickers like that, obviously the battery needs to be fixed, just like anything else. So your body has to be recharged, activated, sleep mode, calculated, modified. You have to high rise your connection to your lights, charge your mechanism of time location to space position locations. These are the things you have to understand. So you can overload, overlap, overposition, overconnect through structural line system of 3, 6, 9 position. Right? So once you come into that positions, you go in the center line system of you through position. Right? You take it out of the equation. Right? Once you take it out of the equation, you go through scalar line defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-dimensional time locks. Right? And again, you have to understand that you can use the 12 and you can use the 3 to higher level system locations. Right? So you have to learn how to use the numbers to activate the line connections 2-dimensional through its 3, 6, 9 position. Because dimensional time has its own clocking system. Okay? So it's really interesting to come across this. Okay? So the central line system of you has to be 12. Okay? At 2. All right, then you can travel to anything through position line connections of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-dimensional times. All right? So it's called its system. Okay? Then you come into your diamond core position, you change directions every single time you change position. Okay? So you can downshift. You can go to secure line defense, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? You can high shift your higher positions, your triangle line centers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14-dimensional line connections. All right? You can go into higher position line center. The only thing that leaves is the mind system of the heart of the soul. So it's going through its dimensional time. It can go through a clocking system. This is where it comes into a solar graph of the cylinder to its location. All right? Once it understands its operation cycle, it comes down in position. This is your chakra communication cycle to its location. Now it opens up its ground line centers. Okay, it comes into a higher position, a travel location of time position. Okay, now the central line system to magnetic highway information line system calculates, formulates, comes into its transformation. Okay, so it's amazing how we travel through 3, 6, and 9 and what you can do through platforms. Your clocking system is important to you. So it's all about the dimensional time of its clocking and where you're traveling. Okay, So hopefully that helps you out a little bit more with the explanation how you go through 369 positions to all locations. There's 50,000, 100,000 ways of traveling through 369. This is through calculation. I don't have to do 369 because I'm not anything through shape anymore. I'm everything through energy, frequency, vibrations. So it's about being everything all in one, extremely fast, simultaneously, all in position. So I'm everything through shape, letters, and numbers all in one. So it's all about putting shapes, letters, and numbers into one. Okay? And then it structures a line system to change anything through gravity line system, power centers, and everything that's position and time location. Right? So this has already traveled in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 dimensionals of time, right? I don't have to show the triangle because it's already in simulation. So when you come to graph line system, you understand your TV box location. All right? Once you understand those 4-point centers, okay, you go to higher light connections, higher division location. All right? So it's amazing when we come into these platforms. But the triangle is still there. But I don't need it to be there. So everything you're doing through triangle is already inside. It's already done through creation, right? So we have to understand our digital overclocking system, right? Because it's nothing but going forward. That's all it does is go forward, right? And then it comes out of the equation. Very simple. 369 platform, okay, through its clocking, right? So 369 / clocking. Okay. Once you understand that positions, you come to higher light connections and travel condition of time. Remember? See? And then you can go to higher rise positions. You can go into your high positions of your calculation to a higher level system of shape position location to your tesseracts. See? So change positions. And the thing is, too, is you can go in the center line conditions, and this is where you come into your atoms. Once you come into atoms, it travels everything through 369 instantly. Right? Center line system changes positions. So you go from this position. Let's change the coloration track line center. All right, so we go from this position. View, 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 view. Okay. Once you get that location, you get your point centers. Each one has a location center line connection. Comes into its red graph location position to a center line system. Okay, then it comes into electrical lights. So this is open in plasma of a dimensional line higher force connection. All right. So this is really complicated stuff. This is what you do through atoms when you travel through direction and time positions. It opens up higher formations of lights, the communication cycle. And that's very powerful, isn't it? So, everybody more confused now? How you travel through connection of your tracker systems. Forget about the atom system. But it's very complicated stuff. But this is understanding what I do every day through plasma interference or understand connections. But you have to truly understand electrical lights inside you through position. You start off with this equation, right? And you can go through this equation. It's all about line signaling and everything. So the structural line system is already in UFO position. Sonar division location, plateau, the crop circle. See? Structure, UFO, sonar, crop circle. Right? Everything is connected inside you through structures, levels, lights, activation colors. The manufacturing of you is a connection of space-time positions. Right? So it's incredible when you reach these things through plasma interference. All right. So like I said, we'll get more into that. I know it's getting more complicated, more complex, but it's going to help you out a lot more how to travel through these positions of 369 platforms. Okay. So it's all about getting your 369 clocking to its dimensional time. All right. So you have any questions or comment, let me know. I'm just going to head over to TikTok. Okay. It's important you guys understand what's going on with you through structures of light. I've drawn out so many illustrations for you guys through platforms of 369. But it's knowing how you go from 369 to a different shape position all the way to connections to its atom system. See, it's all about doing these things all at once, guys. It's not just doing one frame, another frame, another frame, another frame, doing everything in one compilation to one realm of one position. Okay, that's how you do everything in one equation. All right, and so what we have to get into, you have to see this marker in 20 different ways of what this is, not just see it for what it is, see it for what it is through space and time. So it's understanding it's got 25 different ways of what this is. You just see it for what it is because you're seeing it through reflection. You have to see it through its image because it's everything but a marker. Okay, it's connected on high levels of atmospheres of time positions on so many levels of atom line connection. It interchanges, interlaces, and locks line center. It can be laser direction of a marker connection. There's so many levels that this could be. We have to get more into the mind of knowing and doing. So powerful, isn't it? I need more explanation and clocking. Yeah. So hopefully that helps you out. Questions or comments? Okay. That's a true understanding of how powerful you guys are through the mind, but you have to understand the connections of water, what it is inside you, and how to travel through it. You have to understand the connections of air outside the atmosphere. You have to understand the connections of fire, okay, and how to put it out with water. It's all inside you. And understand the earth of its ground and its soil and its metal. All communications inside your position. So, all right. Great class. Like I said, questions or comments, let me know. Adios.